My beloved children, come to me in this gentle evening hour, when the world grows quiet, and your hearts seek refuge from the day's burdens. The shadows lengthen, the noise fades, and in the sacred silence, I desire to speak to your souls about the most profound mystery, the very essence of existence itself, love. Draw near to me, as a child draws near to a father's embrace, as a weary traveler finds shelter in a warm home. I am your Jesus, your companion in every moment, your peace in every storm. And tonight, I wish to reveal to you the depths of divine love that flows like a mighty river through all creation. Listen with your heart, my dear ones, for what I share with you tonight is not mere words, but living truth that can transform your very being. Love is not simply an emotion or a feeling that comes and goes like the changing seasons. Love is a fundamental force of the universe, the creative power by which the Father brought forth all things, the breath that gives life to every soul, the light that illumines every darkness. When the Father spoke creation into being, he did so through love, and every star that shines, every flower that blooms, every heart that beats, does so because it is held in existence by this infinite love. You have heard it said that God is love, but do you truly comprehend the magnitude of this revelation? It means that love is not something God has or something God does, but rather what God is in his very essence. The Trinity itself is a perfect communion of love, the Father eternally loving the Son eternally returning that love to the Father, and the Holy Spirit being the very love that flows between them. This divine love is not closed in upon itself, but overflows like a fountain that never ceases, reaching out to embrace all creation, and most especially each one of you. In tonight's gospel, when I asked Peter, "Simon, son of John, do you love me?" I was not seeking information, for I already knew his heart. I was inviting him into the depths of this divine mystery, calling him to recognize that love is the foundation of all apostolic mission, all service, all authentic Christian living. 3 times I asked, because love must be tested, purified, and confirmed through trial. Peter's love had been wounded by his denial, scarred by his weakness, but it was not destroyed. In fact, it was through his brokenness that his love became more authentic, more humble, more dependent upon my grace. How often you forget, my children, that your capacity to love comes not from your own strength, but from the love that I first pour into your hearts. You strain and struggle to love others, to forgive those who have hurt you, to serve those who seem undeserving, and you wonder why love feels so difficult, so costly, so painful. It is because you are trying to love with human love alone, which is limited, conditional, and often self-seeking. But I call you to something far greater, to love with my own divine love, to become channels through which the infinite love of God flows into a world thirsting for authentic compassion. This is why I told Peter, "Feed my sheep." The shepherding I entrust to my followers is not merely a matter of teaching doctrine or organizing programs, though these have their place. True shepherding flows from love, a love that seeks nothing for itself, but desires only the good of the beloved. When you love others with divine love, they sense something different, something authentic, something that speaks to the deepest longings of their hearts. They may not understand it immediately. They may even resist it at first, but the seed of that love will work within them, drawing them slowly but surely toward their true home in God. Why does the church today struggle to attract souls as she once did? Why do hearts seem closed to the gospel message? The answer lies not in changing methods or updating approaches, though adaptation can be helpful, but in rediscovering the primacy of love. When Christians truly love with divine love, when they embody the compassion and mercy of Christ, the world takes notice. When believers love without counting the cost, forgive without keeping score, serve without seeking reward, they become living demonstrations of the gospel that no argument can refute and no criticism can diminish. But what does it mean to love with divine love? It means to love as I have loved you, freely, unconditionally, sacrificially. It means to love not because others deserve it, but because love itself deserves to be given. It means to love even when love is not returned, even when it is rejected, even when it seems to accomplish nothing visible. Divine love does not depend on results or outcomes. It loves because that is its nature, just as the sun shines, because that is what the sun does, whether or not anyone notices or appreciates its light. I think of those who love in hidden ways, whose love bears no visible fruit in this world, but creates immeasurable fruit in the spiritual realm. The mother who cares for a disabled child with endless patience, seeing in that child the face of Christ. The nurse who tends the dying with gentle compassion, holding their hands as they cross from this life to the next. The priest who serves faithfully in a parish where few seem to care, pouring out his life like wine upon the altar of service. The elderly woman who prays her rosary daily for the conversion of sinners, offering her suffering for souls she will never meet in this life. These hidden lovers, these unknown saints, these forgotten servants are the true treasures of my heart. Their love may seem insignificant to the world, but it moves mountains in the spiritual realm. It opens hearts, softens resistance, prepares a way for grace to enter souls that seem hopelessly closed. Love is always fruitful, even when that fruitfulness is invisible to human eyes. Every act of genuine love sends ripples throughout eternity, touching lives in ways you cannot imagine, bringing light to darkness you cannot see. The mystery of love is that it grows stronger through sacrifice, deeper through suffering, purer through trials. When you love someone and they hurt you, you have a choice to close your heart in self-protection or to love even more deeply, allowing that pain to expand your capacity for compassion. When you serve others and receive no gratitude, you can become bitter and resentful, or you can find joy in the pure gift of giving, needing no reward beyond the privilege of participating in divine love. But how do you receive this divine love that I long to give you? How do you open your heart to become a vessel of infinite compassion? First, you must recognize your need. Pride tells you that you are self-sufficient, that you can love adequately on your own strength. Humility reveals the truth that without me, you can do nothing of eternal value, that your human love, however sincere, is limited and fragile. Come to me in your poverty, your weakness, your acknowledged need, and I will fill you with riches beyond imagining. Spend time in my presence. Dear ones, sit before the blessed sacrament where I dwell hidden under the appearances of bread and wine, but really present with all my love longing to pour itself into your hearts. In that silent communion, walls come down, defenses dissolve, and love flows freely between your soul and mine. You need not say many words. Often it is better to simply rest in my presence, allowing love to do its gentle work of transformation within you. Approach my mother, she who loved me with the purest human love ever given. Mary's love was so perfect, so complete, so free from any shadow of selfishness, that it became a perfect mirror of divine love itself. When you entrust yourself to her maternal care, she will teach you the secrets of loving, not through lectures or sermons, but through the gentle influence of her immaculate heart upon yours. She will show you how to say yes to God's will, even when it costs everything, how to stand faithfully at the foot of the cross, when love seems to lead only to suffering, how to believe in resurrection, even in the darkest moments of apparent defeat. The saints, too, are your teachers in the school of love. They discover the secret that transforms life from mere existence into joyful participation in divine life itself. They learn to love God above all things, not because other loves are wrong, but because when God is loved supremely, all other loves find their proper place and purpose. The saint who loves God first, loves family more truly, serves neighbors more effectively, cares for creation more responsibly. Divine love does not diminish human loves. It purifies and elevates them. When I asked Peter, "Do you love me more than these?" I was not asking him to stop caring for his fishing nets, his livelihood, his earthly concerns. I was asking him to order his loves rightly, to put first things first, to recognize that when divine love has primacy, everything else falls into its proper place. This is a great challenge for every soul, to love God above all things, while still loving creatures appropriately, to give God the worship that belongs to Him alone, while cherishing the gifts He has given for your joy and service. Many of you struggle with this ordering of loves. You feel torn between devotion to God and care for family, between prayer and work, between spiritual responsibilities and earthly duties. But this tension exists only when you have not yet discovered the secret, that divine love embraces all legitimate human loves and gives them deeper meaning. When you love your spouse, your children, your friends with divine love, that love becomes participation in God's own love for them. When you work with love, serve with love, even rest and recreate with love, all of life becomes prayer. All activity becomes worship. The enemy of love seeks constantly to pervert this beautiful order. He whispers that divine love is too demanding, too costly, too abstract. He suggests that human loves are more real, more satisfying, more immediate. He tempts you to seek fulfillment in creatures while ignoring the Creator, to pour all your energy into temporal goods while neglecting eternal treasures. This disorder leads inevitably to disappointment, for no creature can bear the weight of absolute love that belongs to God alone. When you expect from human relationships what only divine relationship can provide, you burden both yourself and others with impossible expectations. But when divine love holds a central place in your heart, when your relationship with me is the sun around which all other relationships orbit, then earthly loves find their proper proportion and purpose. You can love others deeply without possessiveness, serve them faithfully without manipulation, care for them tenderly without codependence. You become free to love as I love, without grasping, without controlling, without demanding that love be returned in kind. This freedom is the mark of mature love, the love that seeks only the good of the beloved. Such love rejoices in another's happiness. Even when it costs you something, it forgives quickly and completely, not because the offense doesn't matter, but because love matters more. It serves without keeping score, gives without calculating return, hopes without demanding guarantees. This is the love that changes the world, one heart at a time, one relationship at a time, one act of selfless compassion at a time. Tonight, as you prepare for rest, examine your heart with gentle honesty. Where do you find it easy to love, and where do you struggle? Who are the people in your life that you find difficult to love, and what might be blocking the flow of divine love toward them? Often the obstacles to love are old hurts, unhealed wounds, stubborn pride, or simple misunderstanding. Bring these obstacles to me in prayer, not trying to fix them yourself, but asking for the grace to love beyond your natural capacity. Remember that love is not primarily a feeling, but a choice, a decision of the will to seek the good of another, regardless of what you receive in return. Feelings of affection are beautiful when they accompany love, but they are not essential to it. You can choose to love someone you don't particularly like, to forgive someone who has hurt you deeply, to serve someone who has shown you no gratitude. This choice to love, made in partnership with divine grace, often leads to genuine affection and joy. But even when it doesn't, it is still true love, still pleasing to God, still transformative for your soul. Practice small acts of love daily, moment by moment. A patient word when you feel irritated, a helping hand when you're tired, a listening ear when you'd rather talk, a smile when you feel heavy-hearted. These little offerings of love, made consistently over time, gradually expand your capacity for greater love. Like a muscle that grows stronger through exercise, your ability to love grows through practice, through the conscious choice to prefer others' good to your own comfort or convenience. Do not be discouraged when you fail to love as perfectly as you desire. I know your weaknesses, your limitations, your wounded places where love finds it hard to flow. I do not expect perfection from you. I ask only for willingness, for the humble desire to love more fully, for the courage to try again when you fall short. Every time you choose love over selfishness, forgiveness over resentment, service over self-indulgence, you participate a little more fully in divine life itself. The ultimate goal of love is not merely to make life more pleasant or relationships more harmonious, though these are beautiful fruits of authentic love. The ultimate goal is union. Union with God, union with one another, union with all creation in the cosmic embrace of divine love that will be fully revealed at the end of time. Every act of love, no matter how small, contributes to this great work of unification, helping to heal the fractures caused by sin, mending the tears in the fabric of communion that God desires for all his children. When you love truly, you become instruments of this divine work of restoration. Through your love, God touches hearts that might otherwise remain closed to him. Through your compassion, he offers healing to wounds you cannot see. Through your forgiveness, he breaks chains of resentment that have bound souls for years. You may never know in this life the full impact of your loving choices, but be assured that nothing done in love is ever wasted, ever forgotten, ever without eternal significance. As sleep draws near, entrust to me all your desires to love more perfectly. Offer me your relationships, your family bonds, your friendships, your difficult connections with those who challenge you. Ask for the grace to see each person as I see them, as beloved children of the Father, created in his image, destined for eternal joy, worthy of the love that brought me to earth and to the cross. When you see others with divine eyes, love flows more naturally, compassion comes more easily, forgiveness happens more quickly. Entrust to me also your own need to be loved. I know the loneliness that sometimes grips your heart, the fear that you are not truly known or valued, the ache for deeper connection and understanding. These needs are not weaknesses, but signs of your creation for love, evidence that you are made in the image of God who is love itself. Let me fill these empty spaces with my own love, so complete and satisfying that it frees you to love others without demanding that they fill needs only I can meet. Rest now in the certainty that you are loved beyond your wildest dreams. Love with a love that will never fail, never diminish, never grow cold. This love surrounds you like the air you breathe, sustains you like the ground beneath your feet, fills you like light fills the morning sky. You need not earn this love or prove yourself worthy of it. It is given freely, completely, eternally, simply because you exist and because God delights in your existence. Tomorrow will bring new opportunities to love, new challenges to your compassion, new invitations to participate in divine life through self-gift. Embrace these opportunities with joy, knowing that each choice to love makes you more truly yourself, more fully alive, more closely conformed to the image of love in which you were created. The world needs your love, needs the unique way you can reflect divine compassion, needs the particular gifts you have been given for the service of others. I bless you now with the blessing of love itself. May you know in the depths of your being how deeply you are loved. May you find courage to love without counting the cost. May you discover joy in the simple privilege of participating in divine love. May your love become a light that guides others to the source of all love, a warmth that comforts the cold-hearted, a healing balm for the wounded and broken. Rest in peace, knowing that love has the final word in your story. That love will triumph in the end. That love is your destiny and your deepest identity. Sleep well, my beloved ones, held safely in the eternal embrace of love itself. Your Jesus,